Welcome to Body Work.
Please fasten your seatbelts.
I had 11 Olympians and over 800 national champs. And all those men, they wouldn't do half the work that she do. And I'm seeing it from the young ladies. These last 2 years, when you think about it, all the good fights is coming from the women. The guys is ducking each other, looking for the easy way. Hey. I'm telling you like it is, you know? So again, you know, this young lady done did everything I asked of her, and she did more. And I'm watching all the young ladies that's boxing now. It's like they trying to prove they better than men. Now, we knew they was kind of there, but now they showing that they mean. You know, in the old days in Philly, we call these guys crazy. And that's the way these women are. So when you go back home, speak nice to you.
It's crazy right now, y'all. Boxing is a little weird right now, man. So I said, hey, let me come out here and you know, give a little pulse on what's going on with boxing, man, today. You know, a lot of people are just out here just running around with narratives, and like a lot of people's bias right now. It's just like you can clearly see who are there to protect PBC. You can clearly see people who are motivated by top ranking them guys, you know, whether it's relation or association. But the conversations now, they be seeming so silly. from fight to fight, from topic to topic, you know what I'm saying, depending on where you're getting your news at, who's updating you on your news, because right now people saying it's a duck, it's this, because by a certain standard, a pullout is a pullout. I mean, it is what it is. It happens, you know, once things are agreed on, that's a pullout. You know what I'm saying? Like, it don't matter what tribe you from or who you claiming or what set you claim or if it's blue or red or whatever. Like, some things need to just be standard across the board with certain things, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's just standard, right? So you got people that's just, you know, reporting that Shakur and De Los Santos, La Granada, are actually getting it on. You know what I'm saying? I've been on that topic. You know what I'm saying? I didn't just microwave this. Your boy been on it. You know what I'm saying? Your boy been on it. I think I did a live about it. Yeah, I'm pretty sure I did a live about it on Christmas. You know what I'm saying? I put a video out about it based on the live that I did on Christmas last year. So been on it for a minute, been pumping it up, been following it. You know what I'm saying? I didn't just hop on the bandwagon of it. But before I really get back to that, you know what I'm saying? I think the boxing community need closure with this Frank Martin thing. You know, I'm thinking that it needs some sort of closure with it, because it's going to overcloud. It's just like this. It's just like this $8 million, 25%. That's like everybody just, man, you could be talking about jabs and percentages. You know what I'm saying? People come out to 25% to 8 million. Like, the math never math, and people still running with it. But, you know, before I started watching boxers' pockets, you know what I'm saying? Before I started watching boxers' pockets, I have to, like, really be interested to actually have a reason to. Not because I just want to talk boxing. And what's going on with Frank, man, and, you know, it's a lot of people that support and like Frank. I'm a fan of Frank. You know what I'm saying? I want the dude to do nothing but succeed. You know what I'm saying? So, but I'm not gonna sit up there and argue and berate and drag people, because, you know, some people saying it's a duck, some people saying it's not, or no, it's clear, and they making excuses. That's not even my concern. However you feel, is how you feel. The big thing now is, like, with social media, man, it's a lot of things that's so quick to being put out there. You know what I'm saying? And when the hype is garnered off of that, and the sensationalism is garnered off of that, it's like when we find things not to be true, or find out that things is not going, you know, along as plans, we would like to be updated. You know what I'm saying? We need to be in the know. And I'm thinking, man, it wouldn't be a better person in the world than Brian Custer. It wouldn't be a better person in the world than Brian Custer to sit down with Frank Martin. You know what I'm saying? Link up with Frank Martin. Brian Custer know how to handle interview. He know how to talk. And it's not a tribalism thing. It's a him and the boxer and a rapport kind of thing. How to ask tough questions, how to get the fans what they know, and how to highly esteem the boxer. We need Frank and Brian Custer to sit down, because right now, man, like I said, the loudest voice in boxing, man, it's ruining boxing, man. It's ruining boxing. You know, the loudest mouth in boxing is ruining boxing, man. And it's good. It's definitely, I admire a lot of the things. It's like, man, you know, I admire a lot of the things, but, like, weaponizing your platform, you know what I'm saying, is not the best way to do it. And so it's just, you know, because of your unaffiliation with somebody or whatever, like, it's just, you know, you got connections where you can sit down and talk to boxers. You can get the skinny. You don't gotta, like, yeah, it's gonna come out naturally, organically, what the boxers, you know what I'm saying, want to see and do. That's gonna come out. But a lot of times, man, these boxers are misrepresented. If you think about Al, everything that somebody say about Al is through somebody that heard or seen or have talked to or been in the room with or whatever. So it was people that's been in a room and didn't even know they was in a room with him. You know what I'm saying? That's Al. Incognito. So it's like, whatever you hear about that, that's because somebody told you or somebody showed you, or your deduction from whatever's going on over there. That's just how it is, unless you've been privileged to be in the know. But, like, a lot of these boxers that don't get on social media all the time, a lot of them are misrepresenting it, and it's by the people with the loudest voices. You know what I'm saying? So we need Brian Custer to sit down with Frank and say, hey, man, Frank, what's going on? Because I seen a little short piece with Chris Mannix and Sergio Mora. And Chris Mannix was he was real vocal. He was real vocal about what was going on. You know what I'm saying? With Sergio, he was calling it, you know, how traditionally how most people would call it. He gave a lot of reasons. And I you know, it was a flashback to me because I was, you know, I stay in tune. I gotta listen to whoever coming out, which I appreciate the information. I'm just saying, man, it's a whole different way to use those resources. I'm just saying, I'm coming. You know what I'm saying? I might not be there right now, but I am coming. And when I get a hold of those resources, I'm going to show you how to do this, son. I'm coming. I'm coming. You know what I'm saying? But right now at the stage that I am, I can just make recommendations and look and try to add my little, you know, presence to everything. Put a little touch on it. Try to have a little power influence, which I am. Having a little bit of power of influence, you know what I'm saying? Like, just building that, man. I'm not out here for the money. This is a hobby. Once my hobby becomes a hustle, it's not out because I'm gonna need another hobby. You know what I'm saying? But I actually pay attention to this as a hardcore. And I'm thinking that it was real crazy how in the, like, when the build up to Frank, you know, the Frank and Shakur, like in that brief little second, you heard people talk about, yeah. Because, you know, they were talking about how Devin talked about how Frank was a 28-year-old prospect and this. So they used the age thing in that sense. They used the age, and it was a means to be able to, like, devalue Frank in a sense. You know what I'm saying? Which, in a lot of ways, that actually benefited Frank. He was more mature. You know what I'm saying? Like, he was more mature-minded. You know, so he might have had more patience. Things might have sunk in more because he has a very high boxing IQ. So in some ways, it might have been his advantage, but in other ways, they were saying that if you, like, pretty much, since he hasn't blown, they was basically, you know, discounting him. You know what I'm saying? Just when he said whatever he said to Devin, they was discounting him and just, you know, because it's all the Almighty. You know, it was the Almighty, and Frank was making this little bit, and he wasn't the only one. Regis was doing it too. You know what I'm saying? But when it came down to Frank, they was using the age to discount him. And then Chris Mannix had said something and said, hey man, he was running it down. He was like, look, and that was one of the things he named. He named his age, you know, as one of the things, you know, and the fact that it was an opportunity, and he named off the money and all this, you know what I'm saying, which I'm not trying to get into. But to me, it was an opportunity. It was an opportunity that I would have took that if I was Frank. I would have took it. You know what I'm saying? So in a lot of ways, like, if it is something bigger and better, like if it is a tank, since Tank in that situation where, you know, but that's just speculation. You know what I'm saying? The thing that the concrete things that we have, like, we have nothing concrete to go by but two people going back and forth, and then the people with the loudest voices interpreting that, and then the people that's listening in the echo chambers, they just echoing the same thing over and over again with no real proof, and the ones that got connections aren't using their connections. I don't get it. Like, what's so good? Why, how can you gloat about having the numbers and doing all this or whatever, and this is how sloppy you are with your resources, man? So, and I think that Brian Custer, since he asked the best questions, he asked the question to everybody, that'll be the perfect time. He'll know how to handle it, you know what I'm saying, to get this thing, because this conversation and all that, all it's going to do is overshadow, you know what I'm saying, future fights, you know what I'm saying? It's not building up on nothing. Especially when Shakur and the Grenade about to get it on, and they got history. Now people playing catch up. Now people just coming out, you know what I'm saying, with somebody talking about him, talking about, well, he's not that big of a KO artist. This man didn't even sit down and do the research on what his KO percentages were before they start talking about the Grenade. Oh, it's only a 66%. It's like, man, you don't even do your homework before you start talking out. And these are the people that's encouraging y'all to bet your money. They'll tell you, oh man, they got betting shows and all, but these people don't even be doing their research on these people. It's looking real fishy because it's all, like, a lot of the stuff that they say is all about affiliations and relationship. Think about it. If a lot of the stuff that's going on is affiliations and relationships, and that's how they, you know what I'm saying, choose to speak. And then they're also encouraging you where to put your bread at and how to do this and do that, man. Like, man, that's kind of weird. It's kind of weird, you know what I'm saying? I was listening to, it was so odd because I was listening to somebody describe Shakur Stevenson when they was the first thing they started doing was just crapping on the grenade, De Los Santos. That's the first thing they was doing, right? But the way they were talking about Shakur Stevens, I was like, man, like when it was him, when it was the option of him and Devin Haney sitting across from each other, what was all these things you were saying about the caliber of fighter that Shakur Stevenson was just when that comes? Now you can go back and watch those episodes. You can go right back because this was not too long ago. Just tune in. Y'all seen the episode. So go back and watch those episodes. And then, you know, we like, well, you know, Shakur, he just live on social media. He promoting himself. He doing a good job, especially when you got, you know, you got legitimate, you got hardcore people. Because once people start reporting, especially on major networks, like for Chris Mannix and Sergio to be talking about that and actually to put it out there as a message, and this, like everything that they are talking about got to be like, it got to be kind of like etched in stone, because that, if not, it had to be defamation or misuse of information or whatever people want to use, whatever the lawyers, you know what I'm saying, whatever the big lawyers, you know, the esquires, you know what I'm saying, like when they can tell you more about that. But the fact that they're actually reporting on that information, man, there's some legitimacy to some of it. Some of it just need to be cleared up so people can start running with whatever they're running with on that subject, man. It'll help Martin still build, because the way people are just putting this onslaught on Frank, they bought, if it happened to come around and be Tank, they're gonna sound crazy if it's announced that it's Tank, and then they start trying to build all the people that's going against Tank, gonna try to build Frank back up and do all this. It's a game, man. It's a wave. You know what I'm saying? That's why you gotta be that pillar, man, that's just gonna stand firm and look at everything, man. You don't be so quick to just, yeah, that's it. No, yeah, no, man. That's not how life is, man. That's not how life is. But I think Brian would be the perfect one to sit down and actually talk to Frank and get the answers we need. You know what I'm saying? He done interviewed Tank. He interviewed everybody. He do excellent with his Jamel Charlo videos. Excellent. You know what I'm saying? But it's gonna take somebody with a level head that ain't looking for a hot take, that's, you know what I'm saying, they ain't gonna say nothing crazy to get no bread because he already straight. You know what I'm saying? It's gonna take somebody with a level head that's not gonna be fake, but actually, you know what I'm saying, build it up. One of the best interviews I ever seen was when Brian Custer did that interview with Deontay Wilder. That was like one that I had to gain a whole newfound respect, the way Brian Custer brought out that information. Because the people that represent these people, man, they don't put out a good persona. Like, you just gotta, what kind of people you know always telling you something? Just take my word for it. I know. I had pancakes with them. You know what I'm saying? Like, what? So what? Like, okay, so you gonna really just take my word? They don't handle no kind of business like that. When you go to your tax preparer or whoever you go to, you don't give them this and give them your social and do all this stuff like this, and they be like, all right, just take my word. It's like, nah, like, hold on, you just checks and balances, but they want you to believe that everything that they say is supreme. And people are running around with it, man. You can tell when you watching casuals and comments, man, that's the first thing they doing. Oh, 8 million, 25%. Like, that's just like, hey, really? Why y'all not talking about Regis and how he said, I'm going to stop Devin Haney? I'm stopping Devin Haney. Everything is still about Shakur, so it's Shakur bumped because his name wasn't what, but it's all about Brian Custer could clear all this up. Then we can get on to properly building once we really, you know, once it's been confirmed with multiple sources and it's, you know, something invested, you know what I'm saying, and put out by the people that's going to put on the fight. Once that happens and this De Los Santos and Shakur thing is like, we get it etched in stone where it's like, you know what I'm saying, we know for sure, then we can build that fight right. So I think we should be talking about Devin and Regis. You know what I'm saying? Ellie been catching up with Regis, man, and Regis Regis talking that stuff, man.
What's your reaction to that?
I'm stopping. I don't give a fuck what nobody. I'm stopping Haney, bro. I don't care what nobody says. They say
You hit very hard. You're a southpaw.
I'm stopping him.
What if he tries to clinch you to death?
I'm stopping him. We working on shit already right now.
1-2 clinch.
No matter what he got, I'm stopping Haney, bro. I don't give a fuck what nobody says. I'm stopping Haney. And if I don't, I'm hurting for 12 rounds. I guarantee I'm hurting Haney for 12 rounds for sure.
Like you hear Regis, Regis is up for this fight. Regis is up for this fight. Look.
I'm stopping Haney, bro. I don't give a fuck what nobody says. I'm stopping Haney. And no matter what he got, I'm stopping Haney, bro. I don't give a fuck what nobody says. I'm stopping Haney. And if I don't, I'm hurting for 12 rounds. Shit already right now.
1-2 clinch.
No matter what he got, I'm stopping Haney, bro. I don't give a fuck what nobody says. I'm stopping Haney. And if I don't, I'm hurting for 12 rounds. I guarantee I'm hurting Haney for 12 rounds for sure.
You hear that confidence, man? Like, man, we just got to hear from Devin. Devin been playing it. They've been playing it real. They've been kind of quiet in it. You know what I'm saying?
If I don't, I'm hurting for 12 rounds. I guarantee I'm hurting Haney for 12 rounds for sure.
So he gave you a plan A. He said, I'm stopping him. And then he gave you a plan
B. What if he tries to clinch you to death?
I'm stopping him. We working on shit already right now.
1-2 clinch.
No matter what he got, I'm stopping him, bro. I don't give a fuck what nobody says. I'm stopping him. And if I don't, I'm hurting for 12 rounds. I guarantee I'm hurting Haney for 12 rounds for sure. If I don't, I'm hurting for 12 rounds. I guarantee I'm hurting Haney for 12 rounds for sure.
You know what I'm saying? Like when it comes from the boxer's mouth, like when you hear the boxer and that's a date and that's gonna be official, that's official tissue. Like, you know what I'm saying? Ain't no narrative on that. You can't put no narrative on that. That's what Regis said. And as a fan, I could put that. That's what Regis said. So. Man, what do you say? Frank Martin is old news. He got his 10 minutes of fame. I'm not interested in anything he has to say about the Shakur fight. I give Frank a pass. He's not ready. Well, yeah, it's not. Yeah, it's more so. I appreciate that, Rashid. It's not for me. It's really not about the It's not really about him and things going forward. It's for him and people and fans. You know what I'm saying? Like, you gotta think, man. Like, depending on what kind of moves are made, like, it took Andre a while. It took Andre a while. You know what I'm saying, to recover from the time when you know, he pulled out. And yeah, I mean, he did cross networks and he did some other things, but you gotta think. You gotta think. Unless you got something etched in stone, bigger, better plans, and it's all gonna make sense, right? You gotta come out and reassure the fans, you know what I'm saying, where you stand, because when you are, what are you? You high risk? Would you say high risk, like low reward? Would you put, is Frank in that category to where he, you know what I'm saying? Frank can stop you now. But are you going to make your biggest bag for Frank? So upcoming, people can use that as an excuse. Now, if you got a plan, you know what I'm saying, to get to a belt another way, you got a plan, you got aspirations or whatever, or it's just some stuff that, like, hey, look, man, if you just come out and he told Brian Custer, hey, man, look, relax, man. You know what I'm saying? The fight just ain't make sense right now. The fans will be like, okay, cool, and move on. But it'll at least stop the trolls from running with whatever they saying, because they just getting sloppy with it. You know what I'm saying? It's like you can't even focus. It's rare that you can go places right now and really talk about boxing and really listen to people that don't get distracted by all that stuff. Because we ain't heard nothing. So I'm thinking Brian need to come out and get ahead of it. But back to this Haney and Regis, man. Regis got a lot of energy. Regis got a lot of energy for Devin. And I hadn't heard much from Devin, you know what I'm saying? A lot of people are talking about, you know, it resurfaced about him wanting to stay at, you know, at 25, with them saying they were going to stay at 25. I told y'all, man, I've been told y'all. If you go back and look at my videos, I got it. I think I even got Church in the video talking about, you know what I'm saying, they was going to go up to 140. So that was already, these are best laid plans. So, you know, trying to, you know, the Devin and Tank and all that stuff right now, like with that on the table, like, It's like, don't get distracted by that either, because if that fight is going down in December, you know what I'm saying, then whenever Tank name come out, it don't need to have nothing to do with Devin. And if once this thing Shakur come out, it shouldn't have nothing to do with Shakur. What's going to be the topic then? I wonder. You know what I'm saying? Hoping they don't get nothing to talk about between now and then. But this is just what I'm seeing, man, and I'm hearing. But this is a perfect style matchup, in my opinion, man. If you look at the video I did with them, I got the tail of the tape already. You know what I'm saying? I had already did the CompuBox a minute ago. I'm gonna go back and do that CompuBox and look at that again. You know, but depending on where you go, man, you can't even go by CompuBox because there's one person there with a clicker and stuff like that. Even though I guess if they was clicking, they'll be able to click better than the clicker that's clicking. You know what I'm saying? People are so funny, man. Like, nothing matters. The numbers don't matter. Oh, those statistics, they make those up. Oh, those punches. No, I sat there, man. I sat there with my stopwatch and I slowed it down. And he counted to 15 Mississippi before, you know, he got back up. Like, man, stop it, man. Stop it, man. People be trying to fool you with your own eyes see, especially when you can go back and pull up a fight. I don't know, man. I don't know if that's somebody you want to do a crime with, man, because they either gonna talk too much or they're gonna keep that secret forever and ever and ever and ever. They never gonna budge, even when it's proof that it ain't true. But I think that, man, overall it's still a good year. I just think I hate when fights fall out. You know what I'm saying? And people get distracted and off, but by the conversations, you know what I'm saying? Because really what happens is, soon as fights are announced, you know what I'm saying, people talk about it. And what they say and how they act and things that they, you know, unfold and try to build up with the fighters. Like, we're supposed to be building them up so we get more of them, not tearing them down just to build them back up. I think that, man, with De Los Santos wanting this smoke, pursuing Shakur since like last year, he been, you know what I'm saying, he been one of the ones that Shakur finally came out, was like, yeah, this is that dude that got hot. I know he won it. That's what I said. I said, I'm gonna start carrying my channel to fight, to watching and sticking to the ones that want to fight each other. It's just like right now, I think Bivol was getting frozen, man. It's a shame if you think about the accomplishment of Bivol, it's like he got the big fight. They say he got slighted on his bread, even though I don't pocket watch. But I'm like, when you fighting the money man, like, because everybody want to talk about how much Ryan got. So like, it's like, why we can't talk about what happened with Bivol and, you know what I'm saying, what happened with him. But then Canelo saying he didn't want to fight him at 68. And I'm like, yeah, because Bivol was smart. Bivol was like, man, like, no, I'm not going to let you come back up here so they can keep using that excuse like, oh, yeah, I was just too big. It's like, nah, but you went up there for Kovalev, you came back down, you thought Bivol was sweet. So that for Bivol to put on that clinic and then come back and do what he did to Zerto, I called him the Matador. Him, Shakur, and Andre, as far as defense, they up there. Them boys can fight. People wanted Andre to be a little bit more active, but what's going on with Bivol for political reasons and stuff like that? Man, that's if we gonna talk about some of that, why ain't nobody talk? But everybody wanna be political about, you know what I'm saying, the low hanging fruit. I guess that low hanging fruit, that's real. You know what I'm saying? That low hanging fruit, that's good, man. It's supple. Like, they'll come out, man. Every other day they'll come out for drama to hear somebody just on somebody else. Like, they gonna be there. That's the army. Those people that like that low hanging fruit, they like who's going out, who's making what. Like, no, man. Some of us want to. Looking at boxing and we think that, man, it's messed up that what's going on with Bivol. I don't hear nobody talking about it. I don't hear nobody talking about what's going on with Bivol right now. You know what I'm saying? That's why I'm actually pulling for Jamel. You know what I'm saying? Because if he do that, it open up like what people gonna say Bivol. Yeah, but that would be the last person to beat Canelo, right? If Mel would have pulled it off, right? Because everybody just going back onto the rematch. But right now, because then people always saying, like, right now, it's an automatic when Canelo and Jamel fight, they automatically start talking about the rematch. Automatically. But here we are in the midst of Earl activating his rematch, and they, oh man, nobody don't want to see it. Like, come on, man. Like, come on, man. It's different strokes for different folks. You know what I'm saying? And y'all just, everybody just go along. Nobody say nothing about it, but it's different strokes for different folks, man. Like the tearing down of Errol Spence, since he was the one. He was the one that made the deal. If you recall, I don't know where all these people were talking about when Bob sued, when that stuff happened with Bud and he was suing Bob and doing all that stuff, when all that stuff happening, man, everybody was like, yeah. It was like, well, okay, well, what was he doing that for? So was he really iced out? Was he frozen, or was it Bob? Like, it don't, like, but they be hopscotch when that happened. They be, oh, ooh, that ground be too hot. You know what I'm saying? So if you want to talk about some real political stuff, talk about what's going on with Bivol. Talk about that Usyk. Talk about what happened with Usyk. You know what I'm saying? I just don't, it's certain boxers I just don't promote, because you got enough people that promote them. You got boxers that get over promoted. You got boxers that can do no wrong. Like, there are people that tell you they can do no wrong. You can read them stats straight across the board, and it still don't matter. It still don't matter. We got to start keeping 100, man. We got to start being more responsible when we talk about it, man. And we got to appreciate when two fighters want to smoke. We got to appreciate when two fighters want to smoke, man, because right now it's like, I can go do this and I can go get a bag, you know what I'm saying? Or no, that bag wasn't big enough. But it just depends on who's saying that bag wasn't, because think about it. I just told you about how every time Jermell Charlo and Canelo get brought up, people are talking about a rematch. But if in all honesty, if Jermell Charlo beat Canelo, that might open up him and Bivol. I mean, he would be exposed to, I don't know how that would work with David Morrell, because nobody want to say his name. That would open him up to Benavidez. You know, that will open up a lot of different things, because boxing is like, once you become the man, you know what I'm saying, everything can change. Bud had a miraculous change when all of a sudden he wanted to fight Canelo, or he was calling Tank up. He was calling Tank up and wanting to go see Canelo, and weight don't matter, and just, you know what I'm saying? Like, their energy changed. Their energy changed. But in the midst of a rematch that we in right now, because they say Earl activated his rematch, right? People don't want to see that fight, so they're giving Bud like a way out. But now you starting to hear a little bit of boots, and you know, you starting to hear a little bit of wild shit and justified boots and all that. But Earl got a rightful rematch, and they saying, oh no, he shouldn't get it, or we don't want to see it. But that's his right. That's his right for a rematch. You know what I'm saying? Bivol didn't get that. But in these negotiations right now, and I like, again, I try not to pocket watch, but they're trying to, it's reports out there that Bud saying he want more bread. That's why I said when Canelo was doing this and everybody was like, oh man, he getting to the money, and I was like, okay. I was like, man, be careful what we allow, because it's just like certain laws. When certain laws get passed and we be like, oh yeah, we want that law. If you look at it in life, the law that we got passed, that law has trickled off into some other things. You know what I'm saying? We like, hold on, no, but no. When you make that boxing law where you can do this for a bag, or you can not do that for a bag, or you can pull out, or you can, you know what I'm saying, go feed your family, go get this fight out the way, and you can disguise it between staying active. You know what I'm saying? It's like, you got to use that same level of discernment when you don't agree with somebody and they talking about their favorite fighter. Because if Frank said, hey, that bag wasn't big enough and I'm going to go do that, like, I'm going to go do this and this and that, it's like, yeah, but those are the fighters that get hit in the head. You know what I'm saying? So some people are justified when they say that's a duck. Some people are justified when they say that's a duck. I don't know if it was in terms or somebody put their John Hancock down on something, you know what I'm saying? If you do that, I don't know. We don't have that information. That could all be cleared up if we get those answers. But when we start moving goalposts and we start justifying one activity, and then we don't use that same level of discernment. And you ever notice how critical, like when somebody talking about their favorite fighter, right? Like they can be vague, but when they speak to their audience, everybody gets it. But then when you speak about something, when they speak about somebody they don't like, they get very intricate, very detailed, and then their audience, nobody gets it. That's what be happening, man. People, they be so, I don't know. I don't. People get the not understanding. This is like when you ask somebody, can they fix this or can they? I've never seen nothing like that happen before. No, it's not. And you know, daggone well, they know what you talking about. People get, because you can play dumb, but you can't play smart. You can play dumb, but you can't play smart. You know what I'm saying? You Mr. Private Eye, Mr. Detective, you come up with all kind of information and all, you get the skinny and you know the inside. I'm like, who are these people that's feeding you this information? So you basically saying, when you say you got a plug that got you in the know and you can go behind this door and you can do that, I mean, you talking to a rat? People don't look at it like that. You know what I'm saying? That's why I like to go straight from the source. When I play something like what Regis said, right here, giving Ellie his credit, but when I can go back and I can play this is what we got to get to. That's why I started saying, man, having the access to the boxes and all that, it's good to brag about, but what does your access do? Does it just give you a warm and fuzzy because y'all had Scrapple and a little bit of, I think y'all had Buttery Grits and you was on his bunk bed, you was on his couch, yeah, because y'all had just ordered pieces. What does that get you when you're not getting this kind of information? But when the boxers start talking, when the boxers start saying stuff,
no matter what he got, I'm stopping Haney, bro. I don't give a fuck what nobody say. I'm stopping Haney. And if I don't, I'm gonna hurt him for 12 rounds. I guarantee I'm hurting Haney for 12 rounds, for sure.
Right. When you hear straight from the boxer, there's no narrative to create. This boxer said that. They're gonna have to say, oh no, because in sparring, it don't matter what happened in sparring. Sparring ain't sacred no more. I thought sparring was sacred. Sparring ain't sacred no more. They gonna try to bring up what happened in sparring like 9 years ago. Don't like care about that. Like it was, for me, I'm just reporting on what was reported. When it was reported that Erickson Lubin had clipped Berlanga and that came out, I said, oh man, that's once you get that flow now, like your stardom go down. Like, you know what I'm saying? If you not big enough to where people gonna keep that on the hush and say, hey, we working on some things. I'm thinking, shoot, if somebody come in there to sharpen their tools, you know what I'm saying, and they know anything about me, they gonna try to knock me out. So somebody might catch you, something might happen in sparring. It might, it's sparring, it's practice. But you let people nowadays start talking about boxing, it's like they don't ever miss. Like so I guess in practice, Jordan ain't never missed in practice. No, he practiced until he was never, when the pressure was on, he never missed. But Jordan never missed in practice. That's the kind of people y'all are, man. There's a lot of extremists out here, man. A lot of people out here that be talking about boxing, they never missed. They never missed in life. They never slipped. They never, you know what I'm saying? That's how they look at it. It's practice. Sparring ain't sacred no more. So when you hear somebody like Regis say what he just said, you know what I'm saying? There's only one way to interpret that. And Devin is saying, look, well, his people are basically calling him Mr. 36 minutes. So Regis says, I'm gonna take the 36-minute challenge. I'm stopping him. I'm gonna hurt him and punish him for 12 rounds. That's the kind of stuff I'm trying to stick to, man. The actual factual. So when my eyeballs see it, and I get those CompuBox stats, and I look down at box rec, and I be doing my homework, that's how I talk about it. That's how I be knowing what's going on. And you can't know them all, but you gotta kind of know when to drop this and know when to drop that and kind of let this bubble, and it's all about timing, because there's been times where I learned, like when that first Jamel Charlo, when he went for Undisputed, that second time when he was about to go back and it got pushed back, I had just did a video about it, and then it like later on that day, the next day, it was announced that it was postponed and it was going back, the second one. Jamel Charlo and Brian Castano. So it's like, yeah, you kind of gotta let stuff bubble and build and then verify stuff. It's gotten to a point now where, man, you gotta protect yourself at all times. You know what I'm saying? Because somebody will go over here and receive this information over here. They don't verify it, then all of a sudden they transmitting over there. Now they got it, then they transmitted over there. Now they got it. That's how it works. Protect yourself, man. Verify, you know what I'm saying, that who you getting your information from and what it's about. Because if you're getting some information that you should not know, you talking to a rat. It's that simple. So verify your information and then let it build. Like, double check it. People don't even, hey, look, man. Some of the biggest people out here, they don't even stack. All they do is they go look at somebody else's channel. I got some embarrassing stuff. I got some clips of some people, man, that's doing some stuff that I did that's like verbatim imagery. I got it. I'm just waiting. when I drop this one, man, people gonna be like, oh, him. Yes, I've been keeping it. I've been saving it. Using the terminology, the jargon, the everything, the whole script. They microwaving the stuff. They're not, before they come out and talk about the boxers, they're not figuring out who got the height advantage, the reach advantage. They're not talking about that. They just feeding y'all, like, because they really catering to the casual. So if you here rocking with me, body work, I'm just not for casuals. Like the salacious, this and all that, we can get into it and we can make sound reason about that stuff. But that's not why we here. We here because boxing is something that brings families together. We can sit down and watch it. We can clown if somebody get dropped. You know what I'm saying? We can laugh. We can, you know what I'm saying? But it's all about, man, watching some of the people that, you know what I'm saying, we rock with be successful and build. We know losses happen, but like the conversations around all this is what I'm saying, it's toxic. But you got people that's just gonna try to tell you and get you to wager money and do this and do that, you know what I'm saying? And taking all the fun out of it. But when you hear boxers coming out their own mouth, listen to what the boxers are saying. A lot of times we don't even hear from the boxers straight up. We don't. Some of them are being more accessible, but then you gotta look and see who are the ones that's interviewing, who are the ones that's getting this information. What is their angle? Because all they trying to do is go viral, but that don't feed the hardcore. The hardcore gotta look at all that, eat the fish and spit out the bones. That's what gotta happen. So, you know what I'm saying? That's just some things that be on my mind when I be looking at it, man. Boxing is it's one of them. The way you look at boxing is a matter of perspective. You can look at it and see all the good things. You can look at it and see all the bad things. It's just what you choose to be on. You know what I'm saying? Boxing is wonderful right now. It's one of the best years we've ever had in boxing. You know what I'm saying? You can get swept up in all this sidebar and defamation and slander and, you know what I'm saying, just out with the pitchforks, just hunting for people like, what? Like, for what? Let the beat build the way it's going to build. But I don't just run with, man, I would protect yourself at all times, you know what I'm saying? I got these knee pads, you know what I'm saying, that, you know, they Kevlar cap. You know, I told you, I call them slippers for the knees. I got these flip-flops for all these people that done flipped over and that they done flopped. So now, you know, it's so crazy, man, because the boots conversation keep coming up. And all the Bud fans are trying to defend why Bud shouldn't have to and don't need to fight Boots. And Boots is like right there, like, but then the Boots fans, they don't want to deny that Boots got out that line. And then they, even when you bring up the Quran, Chukajan, when you bring that up, they get irritated about it. It's like, man, are you upset because he couldn't? Why? Even when he acknowledged he could get better, but the fans trying to build him up. It's like, man, both parties. You know what I'm saying? Either side, it's like, man, like, why can't we get Bud and Boots? Oh, he want the winner of Canelo and, okay. Well, if we even want to have that conversation, if we even got to the point to where we're having a conversation about Bud and Boots, that means you're overlooking Errol Spence in his rematch. But, you know what I'm saying? It's not right to just have a sole conversation about Jermell Charlo and Canelo right now without looking forward or looking backward, but just keeping our focus right on that. Right on that. We got young fighters like Regis and Hitchens. You know what I'm saying? He's coming up on the 23rd. Ammo Williams, he's coming up on the 23rd. You know what I'm saying? These young gentlemen, man, they doing their thing. And there's some people that know how to interview him. I seen an awesome interview, man, the other day with Regis and Hitchens, you know what I'm saying? And I don't be shouting, sometimes I don't say names because people might think that I'm trying to clout or attach. No, I build my thing brick by brick, you know what I'm saying? Brick by brick. So some people might think it's weird, but I seen an excellent interview. And you interview people like that, and the way that interview went, where the tough questions was asked, but it wasn't no, you know what I'm saying, crazy, but it was an excellent interview. Excellent interview. And he spoke his mind. Another interview with Ammo Williams. Excellent interview. You know what I'm saying? Like, excellent interview where you can get your real answer. That way you know how to look at them. So when you hear some of this stuff that they giving you, you know what I'm saying? When you getting them hot cakes, you know what I'm saying? With the extra crispy edges that's burnt. When you getting them hot takes and them hot cakes, you know what I'm saying? You know value when you get quality food because the way it's done. The way it's done. Haney and Son went radio silent after Shakur pressed them out of the lightweight division. Yeah. Yeah, they got, you know what I'm saying? They got quiet, but I think they focused because they thought that, I believe that a lot of people, and you just hear a lot of the, like, man, oh man, they've been going to out jab. I'm like, man, look, man, Regis is up for this. You gotta look at the fact, you gotta look at the numbers. You know what I'm saying? If you're not a part of a certain community that believe that you shouldn't believe CompuBox and, you know, punch stats and all that, which is how, I don't know what they use to win their arguments, you know what I'm saying, or the debates or whatever. It's all fluff. They can tell you all about the fighter's purse. They can tell you all about that, man. I don't get it. You know what I'm saying? But I think if you judge Regis by that last fight with Zorilla, you can sit down and you can judge him by that fight. But Regis might have had an off night, and every interview and every talk that I've seen, they said that Zorilla, and then he did kind of box, like he had a different kind of rhythm, but he knew how to punch, you know what I'm saying, for his rhythm. He knew how to punch and how to be effective, you know what I'm saying. You judge him by that, you know what I'm saying, then by that alone, you got to go back and look at when he was at his best. You gotta go back and look at when Regis was just like, all right, you know what I'm saying? Because Regis already said when he looked at his opponent, he looked at him like, he said not to be too cocky, but I look at him like, man, they can't mess with me. And that's how you gotta look at it. And so with all this talk, with all this build, it's been a long build on this. But for us to finally be getting this, Regis say he coming, man. I believe him. I believe him, man. I believe him, man. That's why I said, man, I had to get off of Devin and them. I wanted to see Devin and Tank, but I had to get off of that, you know what I'm saying, and give Devin, I had to give Devin Haney his respect. I had to. You want to go see Regis? And he's in my boxes to watch. He's the crippler. You know what I'm saying? He's the crippler. That's who he is in my boxes to watch. Now you up there in the room with the Butcher, Gary Antoine. You up there with Rain, man. Regis and Hitchens. You up there with the Puma, that's T.O. Like, you up there, you on the road. That's the road. Catterall can box. I don't care what nobody. You done went up there, and to go up there and fight that guy up there right now, to go up there and fight that guy, I was like, hey, I'm off. Hey. Not saying that you should be able to talk, you know what I'm saying, slander, but hey, you should be able to talk your stuff. You know what I'm saying? You should be able to talk your talk now. You should be able to talk your talk now, because you got a nice, good, tall task ahead of you, man. And I salute you, you know what I'm saying, for taking that Regis challenge. Because Regis gonna take that 36-minute challenge, man, and I'm going with the under. You know what I'm saying? I'm going with the under 36 minutes. This fight ends in under 36 minutes. Now, Haney could surprise and go to the body and do something crazy, like as if he dropped, you know what I'm saying? Because Regis self-admittedly got hit with a flash knockdown. If Haney do his thing, you know what I'm saying? If he, you know, if he is strong, I wouldn't, you know, we don't know. Everybody, I mean, I think it was right because a lot of people try to make you feel guilty. You know, a lot of people were saying when Inoue went up to fight for it, oh man, they kept saying, well, will that power translate? Well, will it? You don't hear none of that with Devin. You don't hear none of that. You know what I'm saying? And this is there was the 5th weight class for Inoue. This is just 1 weight class, and it's only 5 pounds. But they saying, man, he's gonna have more power, and I know 5 pounds is a lot. But man, between people saying he need to be Dev Dollars or Mr. 36 minutes, and then to go in there with a puncher like Regis with CompuBox level defense, like he's up there. Statistically, Regis is up there as far as defense. Power punches. You know what I'm saying? He's one of the least connected with the power punches. So when you're gonna have to use some power punches because the jab is coming. He can put that stick out, you know what I'm saying? But all it takes is for a misjudge or a right feint, and then you know what I'm saying? And we got plenty of footage. I had to stop putting it out because I you know, people was saying I was just slandering. I'm like, hold on, man, that happened in the fight. I'm putting out film about a part that happened in the fight. Loma was popping them back in the fight. Now it's some things that he did to Loma with that body work. He gonna need that body work. That's what it's all about. Haney's not doing anything. Haney's not doing anything to sell the Regis fight. What happened to all the Wolf tickets? Yes, that's what I'm saying. You know, I'm saying you got the right to talk your stuff because it's Regis. Now, Regis then came out and said, I'm stopping him. I'm hurting him. But yeah, and I think that's one of the things that kind of Tank don't really get you know what I'm saying? Because it took a while to be able to build and all that, but the way it's been happening, like the fights, they will get a lot of buzz. They know how to create buzz around it. You know what I'm saying? It's like, again, I think they believe that YouTube really run it. And I'm like, yeah, you got a cult-like following on YouTube, but does YouTube translate? Somehow that Ryan stuff, or whatever Ryan recipe was, or whatever, if he was a one-hit wonder, whatever Ryan had in that, whatever, it finally translated. You know what I'm saying? I think it was dance partners and all that, but that translated. They looking for I think they need they looking for that to translate for Devin, for it to make sense. But man, I'm a uplifter of the fighters, man. Yeah, I'll instigate in the means of, yeah, we need to get this fight, and yeah, it was this and this about some real stuff, but like, just to point out some things, because a lot of people be quick to call you a D-rider. Like, I called Shakur out when he talked about Coach Kenny's daughter. I called Shakur out when that stuff with Jamel Herring went down, and I was like, yeah, that was kind of overboard. Like, yeah, I understand, you know what I'm saying? So, you know, I did. It was a couple things. You know what I'm saying? So it was like, even Chris Colbert, like when everybody blackballed Chris Colbert, I was like, man, don't blackball the dude. He just talking about, you know what I'm saying? He gave his opinion on some boxing matches, you know what I'm saying? I still supported him, but then when he, you know what I'm saying, basically refused to engage against Hector Garcia, I called him out on that. I said, man, you let Hector Garcia go in there and take your cornbread. Like, you was non-committal. You put your hand in your pocket. You stood in the middle and you ran. Like, I called him out so I could speak. So I promoted him and I spoke to Woody, but I wasn't slanderous with it. I just used what the boxers do. People can't do that. They gotta be, I guess, you know, them little kids that can't color within the lines, you know what I'm saying? Some of us catch on real early. We know how to outline and trace and keep everything. They can't do that. Plus, it's that low-hanging fruit. People love that low-hanging fruit, man. You know what I'm saying? But to tell you all day about the word, you know what I'm saying? They present a nice juicy apple to you every day, but then tell you right about the word. But all right, what do I know, man? I just thought I'll come on, man, and say, you know, just talk about some things, you know what I'm saying? But I think we need to be more We need to look at answers. Look at getting more answers. We need to look at getting more answers from the boxers. We need to start paying attention to the boxers and get more answers from the boxers before we just be running with all this, man. Because I'm gonna tell you what, man, you might not eat pork, man, but you go into a certain spot, man, and they hook it up right, you know what I'm saying? However you want it, fried, laid to the side, however you want it. They hook it up right and they give it to you and you consume it. You're gonna be sick as I don't know what when you get home. But that was, you know what I'm saying, however they prepared it, it was smacking. Like a lot of people out here talking and doing all this, they sick, man. They giving you food poison. And you don't really realize it because you stuck believing what they say. You know what I'm saying? You gotta start thinking like more creatively. Stop being so easily influenced by everybody who just, oh man, like, yeah, that looked like this and they said this and they put this together because they got bass all in their voice and they started yelling. Like, that don't mean nothing. That don't mean that actually happened. And start giving credit to people where you find information from, man. Start giving people their credit, man. It's a lot of people that they on they hove thing, man, because they be but hey, they be biting, man. But I think it come along with the territory. I'm still trying to build mine brick by brick. You know what I'm saying? I said I was gonna go live more, and that's why I'm here. You know what I'm saying? I'm here to go live, here to be seen, here for the smoke. If there were ever any, you know what I'm saying? I don't even know if I could buy no smoke. I don't even know if I could buy no smoke. I'll be looking for it. You know what I'm saying? I'll be looking for it. But believe me, the smoke I'm talking about is that boxing smoke, man. You know what I'm saying? We out here in Baltimore, man, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, it should never be interpreted as nothing more than I come on here to get away from all of that, to get away from, you know what I'm saying, whatever was going on at work or however, you know what I'm saying? Like, this is my hobby. It's not my hustle. You know what I'm saying? So just know that when you listen to me talk boxing, it's like, yeah, I got, you know what I'm saying, I be studying, I watch it. I'm gonna do some things in this sport. I want to do some things with the game. I want to do some things with, you know what I'm saying, my platform in time. You know what I'm saying? But I'm a wealth principle type individual. You know what I'm saying? A wealth principle type individual. I know it don't happen overnight, but it can't be torn down. I'm not buying no subscribers. I'm not doing it. I'm not linking up and being best cousins and friends and aunties and uncles. And I'm not joining I'm not joining no clan, no tribe. You know what I'm saying? Have little affiliations here and there, but nah, it just get crazy because when you start when you don't fully agree, you know what I'm saying? When you don't fully agree with everybody, you know what I'm saying, or everything, then they start acting funny and they start, you know what I'm saying, they acting weird. You know what I'm saying? It's like, nah, I'm an Eagles fan and I know plenty of Cowboys fans, and when there's war about that, you know what I'm saying, that rivalry, even Eagles and Skins and Cows, like being out here, Skins and Cows, going back and forth. We do that in every other sport, you know what I'm saying? And after that, it just was what it was. But not in boxing, though. I guess it's the brutality of the sport and I guess the emotionalness of the people watching as well. But in the great words of Bob Arum, man, he said boxing fans are like rocks, man. You could just throw them around. Like, I mean, I think a lot of these people picked up on what Bob was saying, man, and a lot of people, they be going into that 48 laws of power where, you know what I'm saying, any publicity is good publicity. And yeah, I don't know, man. I think it's a lot of people that got, you know what I'm saying, they got caught out there, man, thinking that, and it was the wrong kind of attention at the wrong time. You know what I'm saying? So for me, you know, I try to uplift these boxers, try to talk boxing, talk responsibly, try to be creative. You know what I'm saying? But also, man, it's entertainment, man. It's inspiration for children that's seeing it, and that's what I like about, you know what I'm saying, what's going on with Tank and what they be doing. You know what I'm saying? Like, just seeing them and hearing them, and you know, because I know that's good stuff. That's another alternative, you know what I'm saying, for the youth. So, you know, and it's a way to, we box every day in life, at work. You know what I'm saying? We be, you know what I'm saying, slipping and jabbing, moving like in life out here, like just in general. Like we always boxing, we always up against something. We always got this new opponent in front of us, and how we gonna take this out? We take some losses. You know what I'm saying? We take some losses, but we get back up and we keep punching. We keep doing that body work. You know what I'm saying? We keep doing it. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes we get caught. That's how it is. But that's what my channel is about, man. That's what I'm here for, man. But at the end of the day, man, this video was really about getting answers for Frank, so Frank's reputation to be in good standing. Hey, if you felt if it was ultimately that it wasn't, you know what I'm saying, the bread or whatever, some of us don't care that it was the bread. Just some of us just want to hear from you saying, hey, it wasn't the, you know, it was the bread, or you know what I'm saying, we thought maybe this was better, or you know what I'm saying, whatever. Just an answer, a straight up answer, not social media and stuff, like, you know. But I think Brian Custer would do it, man. He has the charisma, he has the class, he has the maturity to be able to do it. You know what I'm saying? He's gonna do it the right way. You know what I'm saying? And I admire him for that. But nah. Rashid, I ain't do that, man. I haven't, bro. I'm not gonna read that, but nah, I haven't. I don't get down like that, man. But I mean, let me know what you think. You know what I'm saying? I am growing the channel, and again, I'm building it brick by brick. What you see is what you get. You know, it's body work. I can sit and talk, you know what I'm saying, with the best of them, talk boxing, build, you know what I'm saying, but I'm cut from a different cloth, man. You're in your 40s, you know what I'm saying, when you get in your 40s, man, and you done went through things in life, and you done seen things, you know, from different perspectives, you know what I'm saying, from military, being an over-the-road truck driver, sold insurance, life, property, and casualty, life, accident, and health, property, and casualty. Done a lot of things, man. Done a lot of different things. Seen a lot of different things, and I just think that boxing is like, it's my guilty little pleasure. You know what I'm saying? It's entertaining. You know, keep me out of trouble. You know what I'm saying? It takes time to actually look at these and follow up on that, and you know what I'm saying, like look at who's who and stay up with who did this, and then the whole, you know what I'm saying, program where, you know, the performance enhanced stuff, staying abreast of that. That's, you know what I'm saying. Let me see. Let's see. I hope PBC, Showtime don't leave Frank hanging. He gave up a chance at a world title fight. They should put him in the line for Tank. Yeah, Rashid, the only thing is, like, Tank didn't get credit for a champion. They saw what, like, granted, Hector, nobody saw Hector coming. But what Hector did to Chris Colbert and how he went and got a belt and all that, he was a champion. And he was moving up. That's the same thing, like if Shakur would have still had his belt and he moved up, that's the same thing. That's the same thing. So if Shakur would have had a belt and moved up and fought Devin, that would be the same thing. For Tank, I don't know what it benefits Tank for Frank. As a boxing fan, yes, I would watch it. I would support them brothers, I would buy it. But I'm saying, as far as if I had to put on the suits angle, that's not going to do anything for Frank. So I'm like, man, what is this opportunity? I don't know what this opportunity is for Frank, but you know, I don't know. I mean, yeah, people say, yeah, that should. That's what the notion is right now. That should put him in line. But as far as us really diving into that and really believing it, we gotta wait and see, man. Because I'm like, the suit's probably looking like, well, okay, well, what does that do for Tank? Like, because nobody give him credit. No, they didn't give him credit for Leo. They didn't give him credit for Hector. They didn't give him credit for. They didn't even give him credit for Ryan. And Devin saying he gonna come back down, but they were like, oh, he sucked them back down. They gonna that's the goalpost movement that they do, because you know when when Ryan, because he never was officially at 140. That's another thing, man. Like omission. I'm gonna tell you, like a lot of these cats, where they kill people at is by omission. They love to leave stuff out, and then they love to like they'll misstate something over here and then leave that out over there, and you got to spend your time. It's just like the people who have written history here. It's like if they keep rewriting history, it's like, no, you got to go back. No, that's not how that was, and then they'll rewrite it again. No, that's not how. They'll get you off on a path where you just like, no, that's not what. No, they'll get you caught up in what they call minutia. Where they'll get you distracted, you'll get off, you'll start talking about this and this and that, and they are omitting. Omission. Omission is just like a lie. It's just like a lie. You know what I'm saying? It's just like a lie. Just like, you know, your partner be like, hey, man, I'm about to go down to the store, man. I told you I got to get some bread, man. It's a 7-Eleven right down there. I'm going to go ahead and grab some bread so we can head out. You know what I'm saying? You like, all right, cool. He go down there. He come back with, with the bread so y'all can head out. What he didn't tell you is how he got the bread. And then he stuck the joint up. Or it could have been with the ATM machine. Or it could have been he bought a lot. Like, you know what I'm saying? Omission, man. They love to omit. That's why you can't get caught up in the minutia. You got to look at the bold print. Don't get triggered by the fine print that the little, I don't know what you call them, the little cinnamon pellets that they be sprinkling out when you get distracted. Don't get distracted by the little stuff that they put out like this, the little bird feed. Don't do that. You know what I'm saying? Don't get distracted by that. Look at the bold print. Do your research. And don't just ride coattails. But you should be able to go, because I like these channels, they like clubs to me. It's like, yeah, I go to this club on this day and this time. It's like, yeah, I go in there and see what's going on. Oh, last time I went there, and the last time I went there, that was some bull. That's how you should look at these channels. Look at them like clubs. Go visit whatever club you want. Go visit whatever club you want. Speak how you want. Be free. You know what I'm saying? You shouldn't have to become like everybody not. A lot of people go to Sam's Club, but a lot of people don't really have the membership. Like, you don't gotta be all like and believe, because we don't do that. People go to Walmart because they got everything. Is everything at Walmart quality? Would you go buy some produce from Walmart? No. Like, you should be able to go to Walmart to get what you need. Pick up, look, oh yeah, okay, cool, that was cool. That was like, nah, I don't like that. Like, no, I don't. You should be able to do that with these different channels, you know what I'm saying, out here, and treat them like clubs. You should be able to step in and say, hey, if you want to say what's up, what up. Sometimes you go in the store and speak there. No, that's all you wipe, you do this. No, because they need that, man. They need that bread, man. They be needing that bread, man. When they need that bread, then it's motivated by money, then the creativity and all that. You should be able to go in these channels, listen. You know what I'm saying? Eat the fish, spit out the bones. You should be able to, if they on some bull, call them out. If they being disparaging or you know what I'm saying, just crapping on somebody for no reason, hey, say something. Silence is consent. You wouldn't do that in real life. You don't go nowhere and you see somebody and you hear somebody talking about, you know what I'm saying, some crazy stuff. You see somebody walking in the back, you know what I'm saying, they come from around the counter. You know what I'm saying? They open up the door and they go in the back with your sandwich and they come back. You gonna say something, man? Like these, you know what I'm saying? They doing crazy stuff with the boxing sandwiches. You know what I'm saying? They want to feed you. They want to feed you with these crazy boxing sandwiches. It appears Frank took one for the team. What would the team do for him? I think if anything, they're gonna take care of him in the long run. He keep his nose clean, you know what I'm saying? He keep training, because another thing is they gotta promote him right, because whenever his name come up, this how you know people really don't know what they talking about when it comes to boxing, or they really don't have nothing to talk about. They just gotta keep you talking. All they keep doing is saying, they always talk about somebody's last performance. Like when you start having a body of work, when you have a body of work, when you face this style and that style, it's like after you done seen somebody, like if you take a Gary Antoine and you seen him against this style, that style, this style, that style, the Barthélemy fight might not have been the the marquee performance, but then you got to look at what he did with Post Style, what he did with Bartholomew, like what he did with Santiago, like how he broke these different people down over time. Like, you know what I'm saying? It's not just your last performance, but they'll have you believing because he was with a dude that nobody really knew. You know what I'm saying? They wasn't like checking for Artem. Like, nobody really was checking for him like that. They know who he is now. Just like that dude Karan Chukajan. They know who he is now, but didn't nobody know. But it's okay to assess Frank based on Artem. You can assess Frank in a certain way, but when you talk about Boots against Candace, oh man, there you go hating. Everybody know he's Roy Jones prolific. It's like, hold on, man. We know that Boots is young Sasquatch feet. We know that. We just assessing the fight the same way you assessing Frank. It's the same thing, but it changes. So they gotta rebrand Frank a little bit, or at least get him, like, you get him on the Brian Custer, or get him somewhere, like, you know what I'm saying, somewhere where he feel comfortable, or you just gotta build him up so that it's not always the loudest voices just coming out and saying, "Oh man, look at this last performance. Look at this last performance." You know, that's when they don't like somebody. Oh man, judging by the last performance, but they don't say, "Look at Devin's last performance." They don't say, "Look at Devin's last performance." I'm gonna leave everybody with this, man. I'm gonna leave everybody with this, and I'm probably gonna lose a lot of people, but this is the truth. This is the truth. So we gonna do a check on learning. When Wilder fought Hellenius, Malik had studied him for years, and Wilder had sparred him like, I don't know, like over 100 rounds. They went over 100 rounds. Wilder come out 2 minutes and 30, like 2 minutes and 32 seconds. Boom! It's over. Oh, he's the best ever. Now, the numbers didn't do that well. Right after that, we thought we was going to get a Ruiz. We didn't get it. I was saying, oh, man, that's speed versus power. That's like the little, you know what I'm saying, solid, thick dude with the fast hands against the bomber. Like, that was a clash of style. That's something that everybody just crapped on Andy Ruiz. They just did it for so long, and they devalued the whole fight, and then there was all this little commotion. He ran around, whatever, blah, blah, blah. Fast forward. Anthony Joshua, you know what I'm saying, he lose to Usyk, you know what I'm saying, lose whatever. He go on. He go ahead and get Franklin under the belt, and that was under Derek, and he go back, and with a late replacement, it wound up being Hellenius. Because it took him, how many rounds, 8, 9 rounds? Because it took him that time, and he still got the knockout. They giving him no credit, and everybody saying there's no way I want to see him in Wilder. It's like, what? This dude was a late replacement. You know, De Los Santos was a late replacement for El Rayo, and he got that. Ruiz was a late replacement for AJ that time. So people never correlate that the late replacement of AJ, who he might have overlooked, but he was a late replacement, and how devastating that loss was his career. That was a teaching moment. But then on this late replacement, against a guy that he didn't spar over 100 times, he was able to get the knockout. And everybody just going to still take a crap on AJ because of politics, because of certain people always doing this. Like, no, we want to see the fight. But nobody want to take that in consideration. And they'll get mad, they'll ban you, they'll say, oh man, you're just hating on this. No, it's not. It's the truth. It's just I do that body work. It can't nobody mess with me when it comes to that. You don't got no answers. That's why I say, man, we'll have a good old time. We can talk boxing forever and responsibly, but, you know, the minute somebody putting out something, because when you want to be an extremist and be an absolutist and be like these people who run the world, who think they gotta know and believe and have all the answers, which nobody has, when you get called out and you get called, and somebody pull your coattail and say that, hey, man, that's not all the way right and exact, man. You did a little bit of embellishing here and you did some omission there, you know what I'm saying? But that's just an example, man. Everybody discrediting, oh man, no, there's no way Wilder's gonna do this. It's like, no, man. He didn't spar Hellenius over 100 rounds. It took him some time to figure it out. And maybe the psychology behind, oh dang, when I had a late replacement over here, this is what happened. Maybe that was so he showed another level, because Hellenius could put him out. He tagged him, he busted it, he was tapping that nose, but he didn't have the 100-round experience that he had, and that was a late replacement. But I'm making too much sense, though. The truth is the truth is the truth. It's just how you see it. That don't what that mean that I hate Wilder because of that, and that means that I'm on my knees for AJ. No, it's the truth. But when you know and you've been watching it and you just see how the goalposts move for this and this, you just all day, it's like you hear all the inconsistencies. It's like, no, you know what I'm saying? Hey, enjoy that fast food. Enjoy that fast food. We crock potting over here. You know what I'm saying? We put the potatoes in there. We oil up we rinse them off. You know what I'm saying? Wipe them off real good. You know what I'm saying? We put some oil on them, poke little holes in them, we jug them. You know what I'm saying? Put that oil around them, put that aluminum foil around them. We set it in the oven. We don't look at it for about an hour and a half. Then we pop it out. We crock potting. You know what I'm saying? This is the wealthy thing. We for the long haul here. You're not gonna get no fast food over here. You're not gonna get no, you know what I'm saying, no Krispy Kreme donuts over here. No, you're getting a gourmet. You know what I'm saying? And with a new dish and a new dish in an alternative perspective. That's what you're getting over here, Bodywork. You're not getting that quick feed. You know what I'm saying? We ain't dropping French fries over there and getting oil all over the place and messing up your stomach over here. We doing some body work, but you're getting your veggies over here, your fruits and your veggies. You know what I'm saying? We taking our time with this thing. You know what I'm saying? We plan on being around for a long. It's not gonna be nothing sensational where I just jump off the bridge one day. Like, no, I'm not. You know what I'm saying? People be loving the slander and do it. One of these times, one of these boxers gonna grab one of these people, one of these creators by the nuts, you know what I'm saying? And that stance, and be OV, man. And that fall from grace, they ain't gonna be able to work their way back up to the top the way I'm building this channel brick by brick right now. And they're not gonna be able to do it. You know what I'm saying? But that's what you get over here. You know what I'm saying? That's just the getting to know body work. You know what I'm saying? How I see things, you know. I consume a lot of boxing. You know what I'm saying? I consume a lot of boxing. Been watching it. You know what I'm saying? Don't always comment on everything. You know what I'm saying? Don't always comment on everything. I'm getting better at that. You know what I'm saying? I feel like I don't always have to say something to somebody. I'm just taking notes. I'm just like, oh, okay, that's interesting. Collecting data. You know what I'm saying? Doing my research. You know what I'm saying? And whatever propels me to speak on, that's what I'm speaking on. But I got a good pulse, man, because again, that De Los Santos and Shakur, I was on that on Christmas. Go back and look at that video. Go back and look at that video. Go back and look at the dude who did a video on that today, and then go look at the video I did 2 days ago. And you tell me, you know what I'm saying, if you don't see, you know what I'm saying, the DNA, you don't see my DNA all in that. That's funny. Oh man, but let me get out of here, man. Thanks Rashid for coming in, man, and you know, and commenting and everything, man. Thanks for the people who showed up today and who rocked out with me, man. I'm here. I'm open to suggestions. I don't do yes men. You know what I'm saying? I don't agree. I don't expect you to agree with everything that I say. I'm pretty sure I'm not going to agree with everything you have to say. But we should be able to disagree and still understand, you know what I'm saying, where we stand in this whole boxing thing. And if you enjoy boxing and you know, appreciate the sport the way I do, man, we always gonna have a good time. You know what I'm saying? It's just like the Bud versus Spence. I'm man down, man. You know what I'm saying? I know how to chop up a Bud fan, even though I am a Bud fan. I'm just not an only fan. It's a difference. I'm not an only fan. You know what I'm saying? I don't have my only fan membership. I sell them knee pads though. If you're an only fan, I do have knee pads. I do have flip flops. Yeah, I got all of that. Purchase some merch. That's the slogan. Anyways, y'all, thanks for tuning in here at Bodywork Boxing, where we don't take things for face value. We do that body work.